Everybody, welcome back. I'm Yumble, and today's episode is all about the median U-turn intersection, also known as the Michigan left. This design was shown to me originally by Admiral Electron. I've linked his workshop in the description, a bunch of great intersection and interchange creations. But this one is very efficient. It operates on a 2-cycle light, similarly to the continuous flow intersection, but this one relies heavily on U-turns to make the lefts happen. This episode is dedicated to everyone who's ever asked, why can't I turn around in it when I show them an interchange or an intersection? This is for you. You can absolutely turn around in it and stay in it all day if you'd like. Everyone, thanks for being here. Let's check out the median U-turn. When replacing the intersection in-game with your median U-turn intersection, there are a few special considerations to take into account and a couple problems to overcome. One of my solutions is to use individual networks. So I'm going to be using a 5-lane one-way road and a 4-lane one-way road. Both are from the Vanilla Plus pack in the Steam Workshop. You can get them for free. But basically, we're going to use these two networks to make our 2-way road and also create kind of a custom median that's much wider than your typical in-game median so that vehicles have space to turn around to use the intersection. The first thing I usually like to do when starting any build is getting my guidelines right. So I know that I'm going to be using markings 10 and 20 units away from the center on all sides. So I've already got a guideline 10 units away and 20 units away from the center on all sides. This is where it gets tricky right at the beginning. We're going to turn off node snapping. I'm just using a 4-lane one-way road for this. This will be upgraded to a 5-lane road later. But I'm going to start 2 units away from the 10-unit point. The numbers don't matter. You can change it however you want. But I'm going to go right to the center of this thing and then back out to 2 units away on the other side. Amazing. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing up at the 20-unit mark and connect there, and then connect it back to the starting point. So the way that this whole thing works is by turning node snapping off. You can get these nodes very close together. And then I'm just going to delete this segment in the middle. I'm going to go around to all sides and make that change. And there you have it. Those are the bones of it. Right now it looks terrible and entirely cursed, but we are going to fix it using node controllers. So this part is all about spacing the roads out at the center. As you can see right now, they're all jumbled up together. We're going to end up shifting the lanes and shifting the roads. I know that the incoming roads are going to be a shift of positive 15 for the way that I've worked it out. Your numbers will change, and that's okay. Or they may be different depending on the length of the segments and the spacing. The purple one, so the outgoing roads are going to be negative 11. And then you can hit the make ends straight button. I'm going to go around and make that change everywhere, but if you hit make ends straight, it gives it a little more space visually. I'm just going to go around and make it so the incoming roads are all positive 15, outgoing roads are all negative 11. Nice. So there is the center all completed. Now we just have to make changes to the nodes going out. You can see I've already straightened this one up and adjusted all the nodes. To get to this point, what I've done is I've upgraded to our 5-lane road. I know we're going to want it for lane math reasons later. Your mileage may vary. You may want to use different spacing or different roads, so all the numbers that I tell you are going to change based on your needs. But we're actually going to make the same change that we made to this node, so we're using 15 and negative 11. I'm going to do the same thing here. So the yellow one is going to go up to 15, down to 15 in this case. 15. And the blue one will go to, looks like positive 11. I think that's all based on what direction the roads were facing when we built them. And I also know that we need to do something with 5 units and 1 unit over here. So this one needs to be shifted back by 1 unit in order to straighten it out. And this one needs to be shifted in by 5 units. Your numbers will vary. Take these techniques with you. This one I've already squared it up, make ends straight, and I'm going to do an offset of, I'm not sure, maybe 25 or so. I think I did 25 on the other one, so as long as it matches, that's good. And that looks great. I'm going to go around and nudge all of these into place, and I'll see you in a second. Excellent. Node controller can take crazy looking intersections and take them from cursed and disgusting looking to something really manageable and kind of visually pleasing, I think. What we accomplished is we've created this extra large median, which will allow for a U-turn at this point. You'll see that in action in just a moment, but basically the right turning traffic here can come up and make a U-turn, and that is how you net a left turn through the intersection. The way that we do this in Traffic Manager is by managing everything, of course. So this is where the magic really occurs. This is the U-turn, so let's start there. Do a U-turn. The other 3 can connect to our 6-lane road. You can flex the lane math as much as you like. I just know that a 4-lane one-way road turns into a 3-lane because we're subtracting 1 for the U-turn, and that's great. The way I like to do this side, you'll notice we're going from 3 up to 4 lanes. I would recommend doing your straight through lanes in the middle. These will become straight through in just a moment. And this one, I would split it in 2. The right lane tends to be the least used, at least in the configuration I'm using on Interchange Test Map. But basically, split this one in 2 and let these 2 go straight through. That's perfect. That's great. It doesn't look like much. We'll do the markings later. The way that the center works, this will be a 2-phase light eventually, but it's important to tell traffic where to go in the meantime. So right-turning traffic can turn right into the first lane as the law demands. The second lane is actually your left turn lane. So for this example, I'm going to do it from this side, just so they'll end up over here, and you can see. So right-turning traffic into the first lane. The second lane can go all the way to the end. Now this is the lane that's forced to do a U-turn here and come back here, which then goes straight across into this lane. We don't want to force them into the middle lane because that would force them to do a U-turn again, which you could in real life, but that's not really what this is for in-game. So this is what it ends up looking like. Those 3 go straight across. These 3 go straight across. These are for through traffic. And that's essentially it. If you apply this to every single side, you will get the desirable result. I'm going to go around. I'll show you what that looks like when it's finished. Looking good. The center is completed as promised. I also recommend taking this middle node. If you happen to have a node within the intersection, I would just hit Control-S with lane connectors just to keep cars in lane. You really don't want things getting jumbled at this point. Really, you want them to pick their lane before they get into the thing. So don't necessarily do what I did. I added a bunch of these so they have to pick their lane way back here. But you want them to pick their lane before entering the entire junction. As far as junction restrictions go, before we do the light, I do recommend letting traffic enter the blocked junction, basically on all sides. Because this is signal controlled, you can do that safely. Wouldn't recommend doing that elsewhere, but like in a yield or a stop sign or any other option, but you can safely go around and add enter blocked junction on all the free-flowing ends and in the middle. So that leaves the light. I think that's basically the end of the traffic manager setup is the light. So select timed traffic light, click the node at the center, no lights at the ends, just in the middle on this one. I'm going to hit setup timed traffic light, and this one is incredibly simple. For the lengths that I've chosen for these roads, I know that I can do a min time of 10 seconds, maximum time of 10 seconds. So it's going to be a 10-second light that changes very quickly between cycles. I'm going to allow opposing traffic to go, and I'm going to hit add. Then I'm going to hit add step, turn off those greens, and then let the opposing sides go. Also, minimum time of 10 seconds, maximum time of 10 seconds, add. So we're defeating all of the smart elements of the light. Usually the minimum and maximum are designed to manage the traffic flow or measure the traffic flow and then change the light at a certain point. We're just forcing this to be a 10-second light, and that is based on the amount of time it takes for cars to make this U-turn and then get to this intersection. I'm going to hit start, and the light will be up and running. Let's do some markings on it, and we'll have some traffic running through it as well. Give me just a moment. And here it is, the median U-turn intersection. This one happens to be all 4 directions turning, so it's a very powerful thing, though a bit space-consuming. It is working great. I just want to point out the traffic light. I added 1 second red light cycles in between the 2 cycles, so it's a 4-cycle light, but 2 of the cycles are just dead cycles to allow the intersection to clear. When a node is this big, traffic is going to get stuck in the intersection and other cars are going to hit them, so give them a 1 second cycle. The crosswalks, I just wanted to point out that doing it this way by using 2 networks, you have the opportunity to set up a crosswalk and pedestrians will wait at the island for the other side to change. So I think that's pretty great in real life as well. And in-game, it would be very simple to set up the light to allow for pedestrian cycles. There's no pedestrians on this map, but you could add maybe 1 pedestrian cycle for every car cycle, something like that. Every time traffic stops here, it's safe to cross here. You would have to add something of a buffer to let pedestrians safely cross here. But in the real world, we love islands. Anytime pedestrians have an island to stop at, that's great. Another benefit is that pedestrians are only worrying about one direction of traffic as they cross. So cars can only come from their left when they're crossing here, and they can only come from the right when they're crossing here. Very safe overall, I'd say. Let's take a look at the journey, the actual journey of cars that want to turn left. This van wants to turn left over to here. So the way that they do that in the median U-turn intersection is by following their path into the left lane, making their U-turn, and then stacking up here for but a moment as the traffic clears, and then they are allowed through. And that is it. The magic is there's no left turns in the intersection, so it is a 2-cycle light, very fast. You'll get through in less than 20 seconds in this configuration with this traffic density. That is it. That is it. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching. We have a Discord community. Feel free to join up and post your own crazy intersection creations. I love to see them. Very inspiring. Also, definitely subscribe here. I'm trying to come out with 2 videos a week about tutorials and builds and all things City Skylines. Also, feel free to follow me over on Twitch. I try to stream twice a week as well, so we can have some community chat and some live city building action. That's all I've got for today. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. I've been Yumble. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video.